You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Frank.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Joe.
I'm Matt.
I'm Tom.
And you're listening to The Nothing Podcast.
With Nobody Important.
The astute listener to The Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important will notice that one of our key members is remarkably missing from this intro. That's because our fearless leader, John Panepinto, is today's guest. And please keep in mind, this is our first time doing a Zoom recording with everybody recording their own audio separately. It could be a disaster. It could be brilliant. Don't know. So, get your black glasses on, slap on your giant beard, put on your cartoon t-shirt. Here he is.
I'm John Panepinto, and I'm actor, host, editor, husband, friend, brother.
Lover.
Damn.
All right, everybody, what's going on? We got the full crew in the house today.
Woo!
Everybody's here.
Everybody's here.
Oh,
John,
we're all ready.
John, how do you feel being on the other side of the proverbial table, as it were?
It's very weird. Right now, we're all on the other side of the city. We're all in different places.
That's right. That's right.
But no, it is. I guess it's weird. I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Are you ready to open up?
I am. This is half a me episode and half a Zoom test.
So if we screw it up, we can just do it again.
Yes.
Wow.
Tom is here as just one of us. He's not engineering. Well, I guess he did sort of do some engineering before this, but
Yeah, he did a lot. I just want to call attention to Joe, who I'm looking at on Zoom right now. And I don't know what kind of headset Joe is wearing, but he really looks like he's like the co-pilot for Air Italia. That's what he's looking like right now. Where are you going with this thing?
This is my professional gaming headset. It's all I had available, so
Are you a professional gamer?
not even a little. No.
Why do you need those?
I'm not a professional anything.
It looks like when Mr. Rogers would go to the factory and you'd see the people with the big like protective things on their ears when they're making the crayons. That's what you look like right now.
to my knowledge, Joe doesn't even have a gaming system that requires a headset to play on.
No.
Where do you hook it up into? Joe, where do you plug those into your Sega?
These collect dust like you wouldn't believe. I had to pull these babies out.
His gaming headphones plug directly into his ColecoVision.
I do wish that Joe would be plugged into a box right now and going, I'm the captain now. I control the ship.
Listen, as much as we'd love to talk to you, Joe, this is John's episode, so you're going to have to take a step back. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the captain now.
Okay.
John's decapted now. John is, I would say, definitely our captain. Putting a show together was John's idea. I feel like it's super weird that I'm interviewing you again because you're always next to me doing this. So, John, I want to start with your childhood. Can we go back?
Ooh.
Most of you were there, but yes.
So, I think you're one of the most creative people that I know because you do a lot of different creative things. You don't just stay in one swimming pool, as it were, and you're good at like all the things that you do. So, I want to know, when was the first time you realized you were this creative? And I know your family's a bit creative, your sister, your mom paints, but when did you realize, like, wait, I'm good at this stuff? That's what I want to know, because I don't know that.
I don't know. It's funny. Going into this, I didn't think of any answers. Not that I knew the questions, but I didn't. Danielle's looking at me right now. The best is the only person in the room with me is Danielle, and I have to answer these questions about myself. With Danielle giving me the face of, look at you talking about yourself again.
No, I was wondering. I feel like I could have answered that, and I feel like he would have said.
Yeah, Danielle. Let's play Danielle answers every question first and see if she gets it right. No. So creatively, I don't know. I mean, my mom tells me that when I was a baby, when I first learned to speak, when I was forming words, like my first full sentences were lyrics from Guys and Dolls.
Are you kidding me?
That's what she tells me.
Oh my God.
I used to sit in the crib and stand there and sing words to Guys and Dolls.
Wow.
But I don't know. I think I was always like... I think I started out as just being a little weird. Like I liked being like... I never had any shame being different. Like I was like, yeah, I like being different. And then I started... Theatrically, I went to see my sister in shows. I did some shows in elementary school. Like Matt and I were in Pippin when we were very, very young. But I don't really. Matt, were you even in Pippin?
Not that Pippin.
Not that Pippin.
Wait, you did
we were
Pippin in elementary school?
I did.
What? I had like a
did.
picture of the Cat in the Hat on yarn around my neck in elementary school. You were doing
I
Pippin?
have a video of me singing "Simple Joys" at like 7.
Wow.
Yeah. But I had blocked that out. I saw it in a video recently. I'll post it on Instagram.
That was 5th grade, right? No. Earlier
Fifth
than
grade,
that.
yeah.
5th grade.
Yeah, it was 5th grade, yeah. But I used to go see my sister in shows, and I would worship the shows they would do at Our Lady of Guadalupe with Joe Pell and Dana and Anthony Marino and people like that. And so I would go and see the show 6 times. I would see every show. Eventually, they stopped making me pay. So I was so young. I don't know how I was paying in the first place. But that's kind of where I was like, I think I could do this. And I started coming up with ideas in my head of things that I wanted to do. I remember I would go to see movies and I would get so connected to the characters in the movies that I would dream about them. And I would love the stories of these characters. When I came home, now thinking back on it, I was so connected to storytelling from like very, very early. It made me feel a certain way,
Did you hit a point when you were young? Because I know I think I did with theater things. Like for me, there was a show that was on, I think it was Discovery Channel in like the late 90s called Movie Magic. Maybe it was like mid 90s. And they showed you, it was documentary filmmaking about behind the scenes of movies and how they did special effects, which then was basically all practical effects, right? And it wasn't really CGI stuff. And I remember I was so obsessed with it. Like this was magic to me, right? And it made me feel like the tingly, like this is magic. Did you have that? And that feeling has pulled me through even now as an adult, right? And that's where the seed was planted. Like, what was your magic moment when you were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And now it's in me and I got to keep doing it?
I don't know. I can't say that I know. Did you have an idea, Danielle, that I haven't landed on? No, I don't
I was
know.
Gonna be like,
oh, you were going to be stupid? You were being silly? Yeah, I don't really know. I think I've just always been this way. I don't know. Like, a lot of it goes back to my connection to like Muppet stuff, which goes really deep. But we can get into that later.
Wait, John, you like the Muppets?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I did. Little known fact. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember a time where I just like started creating.
Well, but when you were young and you did it, what did you feel like?
Oh, it was all I want. It was like I knew that I was doing what I was good at.
Yeah.
It feels very much the same as I do now. I do a lot of stuff now that isn't creative, and I feel like when I'm doing anything else, I think to myself, this is fine. But when I'm creating, when we're recording an episode, when I'm on stage, when I'm even editing, is the only time where I think to myself, oh yeah, well, this is what I am doing. This is what I meant to do.
Right.
I can do other stuff, but this is what I meant to be doing. And like, you feel comfortable doing what you do best. And it sounds really pretentious, but God knows. I mean, if anybody who knows me, and hopefully after the end of this, you all will know me, it's far from pretentious. It's just like something in me knows that this is what I do best. And like, I'm comfortable when I'm doing it. I think everybody has. I'm sure, Danielle, you have the same thing when you're painting, like when you're, I don't know, doing something else, whatever, anything else, sewing. Let's say you've been sewing today. Oh, that's a bad example, but whenever you're doing something that's like
that gets you in the zone.
Exactly.
It's like, when do you sort of lose yourself, or when do you get so excited about something that you're doing that it's just you're so goal oriented? That's how I find it happens.
Yes,
for me.
and it's sort of blanks. It's sort of, I don't know if any of you guys feel this way, but it's sort of like I lose it. I'm not paying attention. I'm not there. It's like sort of every time we're doing an episode, and it's a lot of, when we're recording, it's a lot of like logistics and setting up the audio and whatever. But the minute we say, all right, let's go, it's like sort of shaking off the dust, and like you hit the go button, and I can't stop it if I tried, because I don't really know what I'm doing. It's just doing. It's happening.
It comes naturally to you.
It sounds weird to say that. I guess so. That's how I feel.
So wait, you went to high school with Matt, Joe,
Yes,
not Tom.
and Joe. Not Tom.
Just Matt and Joe. Was he funny in school?
Yeah.
No.
No. So
I'm
for
surprised
anyone.
Matt didn't say no.
No, I should have said no. No, for anyone who doesn't know, me and John met each other when we were 5 years old,
Yeah.
Wow.
and we've been friends since then.
That's when John was a Muppet baby.
That's when John was a Muppet baby.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
And I always found him funny.
Yeah, that was it. That's all we're saying there.
That's all we're saying
Thanks,
there,
guys.
No, but in high school we really started doing acting together,
Okay.
Yeah.
and that's
yeah.
when I really started. I'm not really a public person.
Right.
So acting really got me out of my shell. I'm still kind of in my shell.
Well, Matt comes to us tonight from his bunker.
From my bunker.
That's burrowed deep under Bensonhurst.
Yeah, but no, you could see John has a way about him where he is naturally just kind of able to get
so
people
weird.
together.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So when you're in a show, if you have not been in a show with John, when you're in a show with John, he takes the leadership role
Yeah.
very naturally.
Yeah.
So
I find that John can talk to anybody about anything.
yes.
Yeah.
I hope other people find that too.
Wow.
Well-
Joe, anything to say here with these big headphones you're wearing?
I hit it off with John. When I went to high school, I didn't really have any friends for the first couple of weeks, and
Joe, why is that, Joe?
I have a unique sense of humor, I think, and it wasn't until I met John that I really found somebody who shared the same sort of things as I do.
Yeah, I definitely think we sort of formed each other as
I
far
think
as
so.
me and you and me and Matt as well, and like I think that we've sort of a lot of who we are at this point, and a lot of the other guys who went to high school with us, and like why we're all so similar is because
We're all sharing one brain.
we met as lumps of clay.
Half a brain.
You know, it happened to be that Frankie and I were the same lumps of clay, just in two different places.
You are correct.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And Danielle is like,
I can attest to that.
Danielle is if the lump of clay was like rolling on the ground and happened to pick up a stone that was like, I fit here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She joined us.
Christ.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
this
she's joined us. She's one of us.
this is an on. Oh, you're saying she's one of. Oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, yeah,
you did a bad job.
I
She's
was
not
like-
the same as us. She's not the same as us, but she's one of us.
I'm pretty
now.
sure you said she has a stone jammed in her.
No, she's the stone.
Oh, she's the stone.
I am
Oh,
the stone.
God, I didn't understand that at all. Now it makes sense.
She's the stone. She's weighing us down.
Please weighing you down. The reason that this podcast exists is because I told you to do it.
Oh my God, here we go.
We could say the best part of John is Danielle. If Danielle didn't push us to do stuff, we wouldn't do anything.
This is very true. I hate doing things.
Danielle, do you feel like the wife of the group?
100%.
You're the group wife.
She's the group mom.
Yeah, the mom.
Wife
I
slash
know.
yeah, mom. Mom.
I will say, there's a lot of times we'll record the podcast and I'll show up after work and Danielle will just have some dinner. I'll be like, oh, they're great. We're eating.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Right.
I
but,
wanted-
but back to why we love John.
Okay, sure. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is weird. Was it weird, Danielle? We did this with you last season.
No, it's not weird
was,
at all.
Was it weird when you did it? Was it this weird when you did it?
Yes. But
Just-
it was only,
People complimenting you?
I mean, no. It wasn't, I mean, yes. But it was a different track. Because you do so much more, like,
Thank you.
Useless things. No.
no, like the breadth of things that he does is just larger than what people know me for.
Right, people know you as being an artist.
I am the
right.
artist.
right.
Me, I'm like, what is this? I'm a brand.
Right, you're the idea dude. So like you have a more breathy sort of
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
feel.
I should also mention that the reason we're doing this is because the idea we had to do this was because I had this idea for the IGTV series that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we thought this would be a good way to kind of launch/promote that. And we'll get into that.
And you also said to me, I think yesterday, we can't air the two famous people this in subsequent weeks. You got to shove me in the middle.
yeah. You gotta go from the top of the barrel down to the bottom of the barrel, so you can go back to the top of the barrel. Right.
So good. So when I think of John, I feel a part of me feels like you're dead, and I'm talking in a church right now.
It's like a roast. It's like a roast.
When I think of John, I think of Muppets and movies and knowledge about all those things and acting and comedic timing. So I want to talk about your comedy. That's something I think we need to know about. So I've seen you in many plays. I've been in many plays with you. You're fucking hilarious, right? Okay. Let that be the only F-bomb we drop on this episode. But that's the only way to say it. No, it's not a compliment. It's a fact.
It is, but he also needs to get better.
Right. It's hard to accept compliments. Look, I get it. But where do you think you developed your timing? Because your comedic sensibility is so good.
So I think there's two answers to that. One is my parents. Literally. I mean, my parents are two of the funniest people I've ever met, I've ever known in my whole life. My mother is very funny. She will hit you with good lines at the right time every once in a while, and you're like, wow. My father, nobody makes me laugh like my father. When I say like, oh, we share comic sensibilities as certain people, there is only one person on earth that shares the exact same comic sensibility as me, and it's my father. And he can just make me laugh, the things he says. And so I definitely think I've taken a lot of that from him, but really also both of them.
Yeah.
You know, my brother is very funny.
Your brother is funny.
My sister has great timing as well, and like she really knows like how to land stuff. So like we all get that. It's got to be from them. I don't know if our grandparents were funny. They didn't speak English. My grandfather did, but I don't know if he was a funny guy.
I heard your great-great-grandfather was big in Italian community theater.
Yes,
he was huge. He was huge.
He used to make all the goats in Sicily laugh.
What about external influences? Not the ones that you saw in your house every day.
Yeah. So it's again sort of two-handed in this, but external influences, I definitely think my sense of humor and what I find to be funny, a lot of it has developed from that sort of, we talk about it a lot, but the Muppets sort of Jim Henson irreverent style of this is silly, and it's not necessarily completely wholesome, but it is. It's just silliness is funny. Right. If it's quick-witted or if it's real dumb, like I don't like potty humor, really. But if you take potty humor and you put it in the right place at the right time, it's like sometimes it'll get me. Like it's I find timing and style more funny than anything else. So I think the Muppets, what's amazing about them to me is that it's so silly. What makes them funny is the way they say things. It's not even always what they're saying. It's the way they're saying them. Or like, it's hard to explain. You know, humor is so hard to explain.
Yeah.
But so like the Muppets for sure. I've studied extensively some of the original like SCTV people, like John Candy, which we were watching Uncle Buck last night. We were dying, but like Eugene Levy, Martin Short, Andrea Martin, those kind of people like that. And then you get into the original SNL people who I like worship. So like, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner.
Did you realize growing up that you were making kids in your class laugh?
I wasn't.
You weren't?
I wasn't. Nope.
Who'd you make laugh? Who was
Nobody.
your first audience? Well, it happened. People think you're funny now.
Me. I only made myself laugh.
Are you serious?
I would do stuff. So like I would like so those people influenced me, right, to experiment. Okay. I turned a lot to Steve Martin, okay? For the same reason what you're asking is what I'm getting back to. He says and does things, if you watch his stand-up, his old stand-up from like the 60s and the 70s, and he only did stuff that made him laugh. He never laughed himself, but he found it funny. And so he didn't care. It didn't matter it's not jokes. They're not for you. I'm going to be up here and I'm going to do a thing and I'm just going to, okay, move on to the next thing. And like, That's funny. The quickness of it made him laugh. That's what it was always me. I never cared if I was making other people laugh. I still don't. I mean, I do now because I like to feel any comic is really just looking for, justification for what they're doing,
or at least an audience that thinks you're funny.
An audience that thinks you're funny.
Yeah.
But really, I do things that make me laugh. And I always was that way. I never made... Matt, you can attest to this. I think I was always a weirdo, but I never had so many friends. I never, in school, made people laugh. I made the teachers laugh. The teachers found me funny in school. And that goes through elementary school, junior school, junior high school, and regular high school. The teachers would always tell my parents that I would make them laugh. But I was never trying to be. I was never like, it's not the class clown type situation. I was never that way. Well behaved. I never laughed at the expense of other people.
Right.
Now sometimes I will. Now I step sometimes into, if it's funny, I'm going to say it. And because you need to know that I don't mean it. You know, that's the thing. You need to know I don't mean it. I tell Danielle all the time, I used to use humor to get out of being an awkward teenager. I never had an awkward teenage life. It's hard to think about because you get pretty deep into it, but I think about these things a lot, right, Danielle? I talk about this all the time.
All the time.
People have like, oh, junior high was the hardest time in my life. It wasn't for me because I never cared if other kids liked me or not. I was going to make myself laugh and go home and play with my toys and write stories with toys.
Yeah.
And I didn't need you.
Did you have friends in middle school who would like come over, or you were just flying solo?
I did, but they all thought I was weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, nobody could quite get a beat on me because I wasn't bullied because the bullies found me funny. I would make the bullies laugh, not on purpose. It's one of those things when someone with a lower grade of education can talk to someone who is well-spoken or sounds well-spoken, and they could be saying the most obvious thing, but it goes right over their head. Mm-hmm. That was me. I would get bullied. I'd have a quick answer right away. They would not know what I was talking about, but they'd know that it was dumb or it was funny. And so I was welcome in all groups. You know?
You had something to offer.
I had something to offer.
Yeah.
My neighbor was a jock, and he hung out with all his jock friends, and he would be like embarrassed to be around me. Then after school, I'd go there. I knew how to shoot a basket. I could, but instead I would take it and I would fling it in the air and flick my legs up in the air, and it made them laugh. And so I was
making
like, okay.
Joe laugh. Wow, Joe.
Right.
For the record, Matt is looking very serious right now, and Joe thinks that's the funniest thing he ever heard.
But I wouldn't do. It's not like I would do it because I knew it would make them laugh. I did it because I knew it would keep me safe. I guess I had those guys in my back pocket if I needed them because I was like silly.
You were the crazy guy.
Plus, all my friends' parents loved me.
Yeah.
I had a very mature sense of humor. I had barely any friends in high school, but I was friends with all the teachers. Like, you know?
Danielle, are you more attracted to him now than ever?
Yeah, no, it's nice to hear him talk about himself. It's funny, we just went out to dinner not too long ago, and his old neighbor, who I'd never met but introduced herself to me, talked about John, and immediately was like, you're doing something like comedy, right? Because she had known him when he was a kid, and she was like, if you're not doing it, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I remember what it was. I said where I worked, and she was like, oh, doing something creative, I have no doubt. And then I made her laugh because I remembered how to make her laugh, because that's something that you keep with you. And her immediate thing was like, yep, I haven't changed. And like, that's what I like. I enjoyed that. I was a floater.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And Matt was a floater with me. We used to float around.
Oh, yes.
You know, theater in high school was very, very cliquey. Matt and I never fell into a clique, and we never fell out of a clique because we were just Matt and John. And we would...
You floated.
If they didn't get us, they'd go, those two are so weird. Or they'd go, they're funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely...
And it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Matt does things to this day. Matt does things. I've always felt very protective of Matt. I don't know why. But because Matt doesn't talk, Matt doesn't socialize, like he said, and he doesn't like to talk for himself. So I'm like, I'll talk for Matt because Matt deserves to be talked for. Even though Matt doesn't care, somebody has to.
Don't worry, Matt. He does the same thing for me.
Right, that's the same thing. So Matt, I was always very protective of it. And Matt does things sometimes where I'm like, man, these people are going to hate you. And then they never do. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You feel protective over Matt.
Yeah, of course. I feel protective over everybody.
Oh, that's nice.
You guys, and this extends to all of our other friends who I'm going to throw some names out there like Doug and Andy and Capizzo and these people that nobody knows. I feel very, very protective over everyone because this is my group, my team, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And over the many years, there have been different variations of said team, but this is the team.
That's something I've always noticed about you too, is you always, and look, I'm not really in the team. Well, now, so I'm in the team, I guess. But like you guys were friends way before I didn't even know you existed, right? And when I first started to get to know you, and you'd invite us to come over to your barbecues and all this stuff, you were always like the glue, it would seem, that held all these people together. And I don't know if that's true, and I'm not slighting anybody else. I don't mean to make it sound like that, but it just sounded like you were like the fun time. Like it was all everybody. You're gonna do everything. You're doing it with John. Like you were the center. I don't know if that's true, but
would you guys agree to that?
I would.
Yeah.
I would say there was a point. Maybe less now because I think we're all adults and we're good at keeping tabs on each other. But there was a large point, where if John didn't make any plans and get us all together, we would never see each other.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And like you said before, those occasions, those barbecues and whatever, we did sort of center around John. One, they were at his house.
And that's a good starting point.
But two, he definitely gave off this presence or whatever it is that people would want to gravitate towards him. Mm-hmm. That's why when during high school, me and John were like really close friends the whole time, but we weren't like, I had my own like cliques like every year, or basically like one other new friend every year.
Joe had a different sidekick every season.
I did. But after high school ended, John was the only one I kept in touch with, and till this day, like he's the reason for all my friends that are around me right now.
Wow.
I think the thing is that it's for me it's like I want to build a family. To me it's important to have a family and not just friends. Like you said, Frank, where you don't feel like you're necessarily part of the core group. I see that, but I want you to be more, and you have become more. But like I take people like you and people like our friend Mark and his wife Sarah and people like Tom and Taylor. You know, where it's like there is a core group, and then those people feel like they're sort of on the outskirts. My goal, even as an adult, is to make those people, everyone, feel more like a family. That's. I want to stitch those relationships together.
You do.
I don't know why I do,
but you do it. He does it. We have Thanksgiving, don't we? We all dress up. We do it.
Yeah, right. I want you all to call each other friends. I want it to move past just me. You know?
Yeah. Do you think that? Yeah.
You're my friend.
Joe, your headphones are too big.
Just adding on to what Joe said, which was, I met John in college, and we did, I think my last year of college, we did the radio show, and I met Frank through a mutual friend of ours many years ago, and then Frank and I lost touch with each other, and it's true, it's I wouldn't be here right now if John didn't keep, and this is like no offense to anything, but like if John didn't like consistently reach out and say, hey, we're having a thing, let's come. And because I've always been just so shitty about staying in touch with people, like no insult or anything, it's just unfortunately how it gets in life. But then it was always productive, it was fun, and then it always lead to something but then we always end up doing something, and then we always relate. And the one thing you've been good at is finding something to always relate to for each different person.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
making that stronger. And now all you guys, like I've known Matt and Joe for a long time, but like Frank now, I feel like it was just a little small gap, but that gap in my head just closed in because we've been doing this so much and we stayed in touch with each other so much, and it's made this definitely stronger. So that's a lot to say in regards to, for like, a lot of people are not like that and have that kind of ability, and that's one thing I would tip my hat to, because you've always been really good with that, always finding a way to make us all find something in common and make us all stronger as friends. So I say this. I don't know how well you guys know it. You probably don't know it that well. Matt does, and Joe does, because I've made this analogy many times, and of course Danielle does. I take it back to the Muppets, because if you look at them, what they are is they're a group of misfits that all find their place together and create in their own style what it is they want to do.
And they all have people's hands up their asses.
Well, those people whose hands are up their asses, right?
It's you, John. That's
those
you.
People,
that's you.
Those people were the same way. You know, Jim Henson had this idea of what he wanted to do. He found Frank Oz, who wanted to do that with him. He found the X, Y, and Z, all these people, and eventually came together. Now, if you watch the original Muppet movie, it's basically that story. You got Kermit in the swamp. He goes out and he meets Fozzie, and they have something in common. They move on together, and then by the time they end, they have this unlikely family of people who are completely different, who don't really know each other. Eventually, they interact with each other, but they all play a piece in what eventually is the story of their creating, which is what I've always wanted to have, be it the original radio show, be it this podcast. Yeah. When we make things, my whole thing. You know, Joe will constantly say to me, like, what do I have to add to this? It doesn't matter. We're going to find what you have to add to it, because I don't want to do it without you.
But Joe's hilarious.
Oh, Joe, I know that.
Here's the thing with Joe. If it's about a numbers game, how funny people can be, if it's a numbers game, right? I feel like things come out of my mouth. Maybe I got an 80% rate that something lands that's funny. John, I think, has like a 95% success rate on what he says that's funny. Joe is 100%. Joe never. Joe, I mean true. It. When I talk to you, everything Joe says lands, and I think he's so funny. I think that's Joe's thing.
Yeah, because I plan ahead of time and I write things down, and then I.
Is that why you're always looking at your hands? But no, I think that John called together a bunch of people throughout his life, like the Pied Piper, who were all creative, right? Tom, sound engineer, filmmaker. Matt's an actor. Danielle's an artist. I direct. Joe's mom makes great hummus. So together, everybody.
Yeah, and it's everybody. It is everybody. And I'm telling you, I have these people who say to me, like, what's my place? You don't need me in this, or have no interest in being in it. But the truth of the matter is, I don't want to do it without you. So, like, we talk about it all the time, like, I don't audition for stuff. I think part of the reason subliminally why I don't audition for stuff is because, and why I learned to edit, and why I created this show, and why I do all the things I do, is because I don't really want to be a part of somebody else's project. I want to be our project. Mm-hmm. And even if our project goes nowhere, it's still our project that we all work on together. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's like it is building this collection of characters. That's what we were in high school, Joe, right?
Oh, yeah.
Our friend group in high school, my mom used to refer to us as the Island of Misfit Toys.
Absolutely.
Because I'd come over and be like, "Oh, this is Joe. He's got problems with his eyes. This is James. We, you know, like, I don't even know if it's an example for Jimmy, but you know what I mean? But every single person I'd bring home would be a different look, a different style. There were nobody the same. It was everybody who didn't have anywhere else to go came together. And that was our group. And that's what I want to take. That's what I've always wanted to take into the world, is I want to be a place for you to go when nobody else has anywhere to go. We used to be
you're like the goddamn Statue of Liberty.
Bro, let me tell you. No, it's the truth. I hate to say it because it's just how I feel, but we used to have we used to be a very closed-off group of friends, okay? We used to say, I don't know if this person will fit in. I don't know if this person will fit in. And be like, I don't want to invite them over. I don't know them. I used to hate when people would be like, yeah, my cousin's going to come with me to the party. I'm like, I don't know your cousin. Is your cousin going to be weird? Right? Now, and I accredit that a lot to you guys. Now, it's the total opposite. You got nowhere to go? Come. Join us. Be one of us. If you're a little weird, you know, maybe we'll only invite you to one or two things and see if you move on. But you know.
But we still have a special place in our hearts.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Amazing. So listen, we're about a half hour in. It's time for our first game, John.
I'm excited.
Are you ready? You have been on the other side of the game though, when Danielle was a guest, right?
Yeah, sort of. I wasn't supposed to be.
Okay, so it's a rating game, and you're gonna rate the following things that I associate with you. Okay.
Great.
So again, I feel like I'm giving you your eulogy right now. Okay. So he was a good man, strong-boned, tough-handed. Okay. So what do you want to rate them in? Do you want to rate them in beard hairs?
Yes.
In beard hairs. Okay. So, John, here's the first thing. How would you rate putting in contact lenses?
3 beard hairs.
Tell us.
Maybe less.
Tell us.
So I never wore contacts. I was the man with the black glasses, right? Since I was the boy with the black glasses my whole life. Since I was 5, wear glasses every day. I never wanted to wear contacts. As an actor, you'll find sometimes that you have to. I got cast in a role where I said, if I get cast in this role, I will wear contacts because I'm not allowed to wear glasses and I'm not going to fall off the stage.
What show was that? What was it?
Little Shop.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
The dentist cannot wear glasses.
Right.
Or else he's Seymour.
Yeah.
It's the.
Right.
So I got that role and I said, I had tried it. I sat for 3 hours in the eye doctor. Couldn't work. About 4 different occasions. Finally, I said, I got this role. I'm going to do it. And I put contacts in. Now I only wear them if it's necessary in a show. Because, listen, maybe it sounds a little 2008, person, but it's my brand. Wearing glasses is my thing. If I suddenly don't have glasses anymore, I feel like I'm not even me. It feels like I'm missing a big part of me.
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, contacts definitely like 3, 2.5 beard hairs. At
2.5
best.
beard hairs. That's higher than I thought you'd rate it. For the record, I thought it was going to come in at a 0.
Listen, I've been doing these rating games for a long time. I understand how it goes.
Okay. Your next one, how would you rate fillet of fish sandwiches? I mean, you basically lived off of them for 15 years of your life.
I did. I was grossed out.
Wait, can
by
I
them for a
can I
long
specify?
time.
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
man.
We're talking about McDonald's filet of
Really,
sandwiches,
any fish sandwich, any fillet of fish where it's a square
'cause
patty.
A fillet of fish from like one of those places in Rockaway or something. That's delicious.
Oh no, I'm in like a Rollin' Roaster fillet of fish, a McDonald's fillet. I think
the roller roaster one is really good too.
I was hoping it would be rolling.
for the record, John lived most of his life actually believing fish were square. For the record, he did.
Yeah, forever.
So how do you rate
Okay.
a nice fillet of fish sandwich?
I'm going to pepper these with little stories. So
Yeah,
the
they're
filet
good.
fish sandwich is it's very good. I give that like 8 beard hairs.
Nice.
But then you go to McDonald's and it's like 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, sure.
So I was a pescatarian for 8.5 years. And when I ate meat before that, my whole life before that, I refused to eat fish. Because I was like, I'll eat any other animal, but fish, I love fish. I will not eat them. People don't even treat them like they're animals. I will not eat a fish. I made a complete switch.
This is why you were by yourself in middle school, by the way.
Yes. Yep. But I also found it so funny that I was like, no, I'm not going to eat a fish. I thought that was hysterical, and it is. So I switched, and I ate only fish, no meat, because I was sitting in Mass one day. It was a Sunday, not any day. It was Easter Sunday. Actually, yeah, pretty specifically. And the priest said, Lent is over. Don't wait for next year's Lent to make a change in your life. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till, if you want to make a change, you don't need a reason. Just make a change. And I had always wanted to give up meat. So I ate Easter dinner that night. I did, in fact, wait until Monday. And then Monday, I didn't eat meat again for 8 years. But I ate fish because I said, if I can't eat meat, I gotta eat something else. And so I tried fish, and thankfully I liked it. The very first fish thing I ever tried was a shrimp salad from Applebee's.
Oh, all right.
Barbecue shrimp. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Could you imagine being a fucking fish, and you and your brother, 2 fish. One of you grow up and you're like a nice prime cut. They use you in sushi, and the other one has to become a fucking McDonald's sandwich. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
But hold on, wait. Can I do a follow-up question to that?
Only if
your
you
question?
could also do the impression of a fish, because you do great impressions, Tom.
All right. I'll ask the question, then I'll do whatever. I don't know what impression you want me to do, but the filet of fish song And that's not the Filet-O-Fish song. Yeah, the Filet-O-Fish song. The fucking thing that hops on the that
Billy
thing.
Big Mouth Bass. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, beard hairs.
Beard hairs. I don't know. I can't remember it that well, but I'm gonna say like 3.
It's like, give me that Filet-O-Fish. Give me that
Oh
fish.
no, that's not even a song. Get that out of here. I hate that thing.
I love it.
That's not a song. Get that thing out of here. No, that's 0. I hate that.
Tom, you're gonna do an
you want
impression
an
of a fish?
fish?
I want to hear like a
Like
down
what?
and out fish who just heard he's gonna become a McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, and he gave his whole life up for this.
But he's
Because I actually could do one voice.
Yeah, that
It's, I'm a tuna.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get killed. Someone just fucking catch me, hook me, and slaughter my whole family while we're at it.
I love it. I love the face that goes.
He's doing a fish
Yeah,
face.
it's the same face.
All right, John, I'm gonna hit you with this. How do you rate? I know what you're gonna say. The theater director Ivo Van Hove.
So
John's
okay.
rubbing his eyes.
Yes. So this is basically this whole game is played off of the fact that I love to rant about stuff. Here's the thing, okay? Which you know, and this is me saying it about myself. If I open a sentence with "Here's the thing," there's a lot coming.
That's like what
okay?
people say. I'm not racist, but
Right. Here's the thing. He's got some good ideas, but I think he pretty much ruins everything he touches. I don't, however, feel as passionate about it as Danielle does. Danielle will go nowhere near an Ivo Van Hove production. For those of you who don't know, he's a very pretentious German director, Swedish, whatever he is. He's got the new West Side Story on Broadway now, and Danielle will not let me go see it. And I think it's okay.
No. You can go and see it. I will not be joining.
Right. Yeah, he sucks. He sucks. And we saw that production of View from the Bridge,
Yep.
and it was bad, and then you liked it, and I lost a little bit of respect for you, and then that's it.
okay. This is a very easy one for you. Blu-rays.
Blu-rays, love them.
Love 'em.
I mean, they're a dying media, but I love them.
Okay. How do you rate him? How many beard hairs?
Oh, 10.
10. Okay. What about
Without special features.
You know what? I don't care about the special features. I really don't. Just
What
give
about
it to me.
steelbooks?
Give it to me in a steelbooks. Love them. Steelbooks get 15.
How about non slipcover ones? Like just
Blu-rays without the
Ooh.
cardboard sleeve?
yeah.
0. I will not buy it.
That's 5 milligrams of agita.
I will not buy it. Can we tell? Okay, I don't know what
Yeah.
questions you have planned
You
going
got-
forward.
You gotta tell this story though. I know.
tell the story? I know what you're gonna say. Tell the story.
Which one? About the steel?
Yes.
About the slipcovers?
Yes.
Yeah.
What I used to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I hope there are no police
heist.
officers.
Yeah.
listening.
So what? I listen. I am the picture of the moral high ground. Okay.
You are.
So I will never steal anything. However, it is a piece of cardboard that costs nothing. If I'm gonna take a movie and quietly in Best Buy, like you can't see it, my hands, I slip one right out as the other one pushes in, bring it to the counter,
Couldn't even imagine.
and they scan it, and I take it. Now, I've also bought things that I wanted the slipcover for, bought it, taken the slipcover, and returned the movie. One time, a woman said to me, "Didn't this have a cardboard sleeve on it?" I almost died. I was like, I literally looked her dead in the face and went, "No," and she was like, "Okay."
What was that film?
It was Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And then you went home and washed.
I took this 3D steelbook, even though I bought. Listen, don't charge me. I don't have a 3D TV. You only put the slipcover on the 3D one. I'm gonna take the slipcover because I don't have a 3D TV.
You don't need an excuse to change.
Right.
Not a Monday, not a Tuesday. So stop stealing.
Give up your life of crime.
Yeah.
All right.
He's still,
You hit a hard.
So
he's still upset about it though. That's
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
part.
Well,
I
he's
about
a
it.
remember
thief. He's a thief. He's a
Thief.
crook and a swindler and a thief.
I want him to go back to Best Buy. You have a white robe. You have a garbage bag full of all the stolen slip covers, and you
I've
go,
only
I'm
done it once or
repenting.
twice, and I know exactly what movies I've done it with.
He
too.
couldn't do it anyway. I have to talk him off the edge
That's why
anytime.
That's why I started the series, is because I remember every single thing.
John's gonna take his bag of slipcovers, go right outside the entrance of the Best Buy. He's gonna wear a white robe. He's gonna put them at his feet and set them on fire and walk into the fire. That's how it goes down for John. John, next
that's
one.
the end.
Please rate Silly Walks.
Oh, love them. I do them through the house all the time. 10.
10.
Right, Danielle? I'm constantly silly walking through the house.
Love it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have 2 more. John, how would you rate being a little bit nervous?
Oh, God. I mean,
What a big question.
I can't remember the last time I was just a little bit
Okay.
nervous. I'm pretty nervous. I would say I rate it 0. I don't want to be even a little bit nervous.
But maybe if
I'm
you
always-
returned the slip cover, you'd feel better in your daily life.
Oh, man, it stuck with me. I'm shaking still.
John left out another little mini story on top of those stealing those slipcovers. There were times there where he would ask me.
Oh, yeah!
To take
No.
You had Joe got
was
hit by
a
a car, then Sue.
Oh, right.
Joe
I
was
know
a
about
dirty
that.
thief.
Oh, I had
So
no problem taking it.
Joe had
Joe!
no problem stealing stuff. No problem stealing stuff.
I've taken
And
much
I would say
worse.
That's amazing.
I would say, Joe, can you steal the slipcover for me? He would get a thrill out of
I would.
flattening it and putting it in his coat. Oh, he would get a thrill.
Oh my,
Oh my God.
Joe comes out with a shell for TV. You said these 2, right?
Did they ever catch you, Joe?
The headset?
No, it never went off or something. But there were times when I would put it in my coat. But for the warmer weather, with no coat, I would just put it right in my pants.
Are you kidding me?
I swear.
I felt like I was doing a service. I was getting the slipcover, and Joe
That's
loved
how
to
the
steal.
mafia works.
Yeah, right in your pants.
You're a regular Fagin, John. You bring your little tribe together and have them do your dirty work. All right, here's the last one. How do you rate Danielle being cute?
20 beard hairs. All the
Please.
beard
A
hairs.
full beard.
What's the cutest thing about Danielle?
I don't know. Listen, I'm going to steal this line from my dad. She's very soft. Okay.
What?
So, this is what my dad used to say to me. My dad
About
used to say to me,
Danielle?
Butter?
no, about anybody. My dad used to say one thing about a woman.
Oh, God.
She could be nasty, she could be mean, she could be lovely, she could be whatever it is. They're all soft. And that's the creepiest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
Until I wake up in the morning and there's Danielle's little soft face next to me, and I'm like, she's soft.
Oh, Danielle, did you know that John thinks you're soft?
Yes, I've heard this story many times.
Yeah.
Danielle, what would you say John is?
Wait,
Am I soft?
no, but you're so damn cuddly.
Oh, he's
I am.
cuddly, and she's soft.
Wait.
I asked her the other day if I was a teddy bear, and she's like, no. No. She said no, straight up no. I was like, why? I'm a big guy. That's what I'm supposed to be. She's like, no.
No, I would never rate him as a teddy bear. I don't know. He just doesn't like.
I'm more of a
hold-
grizzly.
Oh baby. Wait, no, I have one for you to rate just
Yeah.
because it goes with your pescatarian story and it still cracks me up.
Yeah.
What do you rate? Well, in your case, a sausage, egg, and cheese. I would say bacon, egg, and cheese, but you're the worst.
Yes. So a bacon, egg, and cheese is the greatest thing. You try to not eat meat for 8 years and then go back to eat a bacon, egg, and cheese. I was in the car and I remember exactly where we were. I turned to Danielle and I said, oh my God. She said, what? I said, bacon and eggs go so well together. She's like, yeah, I know it does.
I remember when
Oh
you
my
said
God.
that.
He turned to me and I cried.
Yeah.
It was so
It was a real
genuine.
revelatory moment.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and go for something with a little more substance now. Can you talk about working with people with autism? That's a big thing for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So how did that all start?
Well, my cousin AJ has autism, and he was nonverbal, I think, until he was 10, which I don't even remember him being nonverbal, because we always communicated. Like, listen, Danielle says it all the time. Like, I like things that I need to that need a little extra effort. Okay? So like AJ's always been one of my favorite family members of mine because like me, I always felt like we're a little different. And it's not bad and not in any way, but just like different. And so I just connected with AJ really early on, and then the opportunity came up to work with him as a teacher at home, sort of doing stuff in out in society. Really, it was me and him would sit and we would just talk.
It was like life skills stuff?
Yeah, but not so. My job for him was not so much that. We would sit after school for 2 hours and play board games. We'd just make lists. After a while, and Joe can attest, because Joe worked with AJ too for a little while, AJ, he has enough just making lists and talking. He's a smart kid, so he's like, I don't need to be here right now.
What does he make lists of?
He can list every Disney character in every single movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, up to like the miniature, the littlest characters, and he loves to learn them. So like I would teach them to him too, and we'd go over what he did in school, and like it's little things like the answer of like ate lunch is not enough. You have to tell me what you ate for lunch. Like,
right.
Where did you go in school? So things like that. And then I just loved it. I loved working with him. I loved connecting with him. I loved that I could.
Yeah.
And then we went, it became every once a week I would go bowling with him. We were part of for lack of a better term, autistic bowling league, where he and his friends would all go bowling every Sunday, and I would go, and he and I would bowl together. He beat me a lot at first. I became a pretty good bowler from it. He also continued to get better. And we did that for a long time, and I missed that. I really missed that. That, in here in New York, there's not that many bowling alleys around, unfortunately, so we don't get the opportunity to do that. But that was great, and then I got to become close with all of his other friends. Then we started playing baseball on Saturdays, and baseball with a group of autistic kids, for those of you who don't know, is you running the bases and them pretty much following you.
Right. What did working with these people teach you?
I think that there's multiple ways to communicate. That words isn't the only way to communicate.
And that as a physical comedian.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I could tell when the big problem with autism, right, is a social connection. That's at its base the biggest symptom of it, is that you're unable to make a real social, emotional connection a lot of the time. Not in all cases, they're all very different, but in these specific cases with these kids I'd work with.
Yeah.
And I knew that I could communicate with them. You could tell when they're feeling what you're feeling. And they can tell when you understand them.
Right, because there's no lying. It's completely transparent when you're dealing with kids like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so some of the kids would love to talk about this one kid would love to talk about Batman, right? And a lot of the time people didn't know what he was talking about. He'd come up to them and say, "Hey, I'm Batman and you're this," and they wouldn't know what to do. I, because of my interests and because knew what to do. So he'd come up to me and say, "I'm Batman, you're Penguin, go." And I would know what to do because I know those things.
Yep.
So I was able to connect with it, so it's like kind of using the things you like and I don't talk down to anybody ever, as far as, especially with kids.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important with kids, with people, differently abled, things like that. I don't talk down to anybody. If you can't speak, that doesn't mean that I'm better than you, smarter than you, more capable than you.
Right. It
just means I have to figure out another way to communicate with you.
So, let's try it. Okay, I'm Batman. You're Nicole Kidman as Poison Ivy. Go.
Frank. Uma Thurman was
Uma Thurman. Shit. That's why Matt just kept staring.
Nicole Kidman was Dr. Chase Meridian. Okay?
Oh, yes, she was. Remember Dr. Chase Meridian?
I sure do.
That's not a real character.
But yeah, so that's what, I don't know what that means. Does that mean I probably should be doing something else with my life than what I'm doing now? Yeah, probably.
No, I think it just means that you're a very skilled communicator. And everything you do has to do with communication.
Yeah, I guess so. My mom was right. I should have majored in communications.
And then you know where you'd be? Right here, doing this.
Yes, that's right.
Working with the kids with autism, did that make you want to pursue that as a career over going into entertainment, or?
Yes and no. Not. It didn't make me want to go into a career of it over entertainment per se. I have a weird relationship with entertainment as a career. I love it. I love to entertain. It's all I want to do. But the lifestyle and the drive that you need and the fortitude you need to pursue a life in performance takes out what it is I love about it. Like, what I love about it is having fun with my friends and creating from raw emotion. And, once you start to get paid for it and you start to throw money at it and you have to please experts, like, I hate even Instagram, they tell you have to create. I don't want to do that. No, yeah. I'll create when I want to. I don't need to create so I can build some sort of an audience. Pursuing performance as a career was not really something I ever really wanted to do. I mean, I want to be famous. I love that.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a deep thing.
So why, John? Why do you want to be famous?
Yeah, no, but so to answer Matt's question, unfortunately, the way that our city right now is built, folks like me who would love to work with more severe students on the autism spectrum, or anyone who's Down syndrome or differently abled in any way, unfortunately, those are all private schools, and they don't get the attention that they need from the city. The benefits aren't there. And that turns a lot of people like me off. I need stability. I need benefits. I need X, Y, and Z. Unfortunately, I can't go and teach the way I want to, and be able to ensure myself that I can have a life that I want to have. Whereas if I was to go to, say, work in the Department of Education, there's those benefits, there's that stability, there's the retirement. Unfortunately, I mean, it's starting, but a lot of those working with like severe special needs kids, unfortunately, it's just not there, and it's very, very hard to make a sustainable living just doing that. It's possible, but that's why I have not really pursued that. I would really like to at some point, but yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question that I ask in counseling a lot, and this is not my own question. This is a real thing. And the question is, if one night you went to bed, right, and it was a regular night, but something magical happened in the world during the night, and you woke up in the morning and you didn't know that it happened, right? What would be the first things you would notice that would sort of tell you that, oh my God, I think something amazing happened while I was sleeping? Like, what would change in your life?
Did it really happen?
No, it really happened. Sure. Magically something changed. What would be different?
I think people would know who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a chase of fame. It's a little bit of needing to feel like I matter, right?
Sure.
A little bit feel of I want to have I want to leave a mark on the world, right?
Yeah.
But also, I have something to say. I have a message. That I like to get out there. And I think it's a message of positivity and togetherness and silly fun.
Yep.
And if I can reach that level, if I can reach and bring... I always say that my goal is to make somebody's day. I want to make people smile. It goes back to the Muppets. I'm making people happy. It's what the whole MO of that is. So for me, I want to make people happy. With this podcast, I can make, a couple hundred people happy an episode or whatever it is, right? If I was famous, I could make thousands of people happy, millions of people happy.
Yes,
I could
absolutely
reach a wide audience and affect people's lives for the better on a wide spectrum. And that's why I want to be known. That's the only reason I want to be famous, so I can reach more ears and eyes.
That's super powerful. That's powerful. That's right. You have something that you want to say, and you want more people to hear it, and you want more people to see a way of being, this sort of silly whatever. But that's huge, especially in look outside. Things right now are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we keep doing this. That's why Danielle said it. She was like, people need to laugh more than ever. And I knew that, but I think I'd forgotten that I have the power to do that even on a small scale.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, you made a puppet video because we were dancing this morning, just being silly, and my mom texted me and said she loves the videos and all of her friends love the videos when John posts about, doing like the puppeteering and things like that.
Yeah.
And like that's important.
Making middle-aged women laugh since 2012. I mean, I put these puppet videos up, and we go to extreme lengths. Like, you'll catch me laying behind a couch the other day, or outside. We did one where we were splitting 2 headphones outside, upside down, hanging through stuff. Because I love the magic of puppetry. I think it's genius, and the challenge of figuring out how to make it work, right? But also, if it makes people laugh, and it makes people smile, and it makes their day a little better, then that's what I want to do. And, and that's why I want to take everybody. I'm not going anywhere, FYI. Not right now. But I want to take everybody with me when we go. Because I think that you guys are all geniuses. As I talk through it, I get to the point where I start to realize, be it Danielle or Joe or you, Frank, obviously, Matt, Tom, Doug, these people, I think that the whole world would really benefit from knowing all of you, because I think you're all geniuses. You are all the funniest, smartest, most clever people I have ever met in my whole life, and likely will ever meet. And I think it's so important to realize that we all came from a place, and for lack of a better term, I got you all from being the people who didn't belong anywhere to being a group of people who are desired for their skills. I think that's so important. Like, there's a lot of people, and that's everybody. I mean, everybody, everybody's a nobody. Like we say, nobody knows. I don't want to be a somebody. I want to be a nobody with influence.
Yeah.
That's sort of,
Wow. But that I think you're just talking for an hour with you about this, right? I would assume everybody else in this right now is going to feel the same way, but you really come across as very unified and cohesive, where I never put it all together. But literally everything you're saying fits in the exact same category, and it's about pulling people together. That's who you are as a friend. When you work with kids who are autistic, doing comedy, making stupid videos, it's all the same thing. It's bringing everybody together and sort of uplifting the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess that's, I mean.
Yeah, yes. Having dinner parties at your house, doing stupid stuff. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing.
Right. And I think, just to put this out there, I think one of the things that drew Danielle and I together was that she's very much the same way. Danielle as well gets this joy out of bringing people together. We have these parties. Do you ever see her really at these parties? Barely. Because it's not about us. It's about making sure everybody else is having a good time. And I think that's what we found in each other. Do
you agree, Danielle?
Yes, for sure.
Thank you, Danielle.
John, could I ask you to do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you call me a genius again? Like just me. Like,
listen, the truth of the matter is, and I say this all the time, pound for pound, just like Frank said, I love Frank. Frank and I are simpatico, wavelengths. Pound for pound, the funniest, most quick-witted person that I know is Joe. There is no question.
He doesn't hit duds. Joe
no,
never hits a dud.
There is never a miss.
I disagree, and I think I'm a walking, talking dud.
See, Joe, that was funny.
But hey, I won't argue.
Yep.
Joe would never say Nicole Kidman was poison ivy to deafening silence of his peers.
There's a lot. Listen, there's a lot we could talk about.
All right. Guess what we're going to do now, though?
What?
Another game.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, are you ready? So it's sort of more for us than you, but you're driving it.
Okay.
You just have to tell each of us which Muppets we are.
Oh,
that's
I'm excited.
easy.
That's so easy.
That's
Alright.
so easy.
Yeah, I
Can
think
I
he
go-
knows
can-
that already.
For the sake of the audience listening at home, can I go further than the people in this group?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
This is this exercise must have been done already.
I've done this 1,000 times. I already know the answer.
Great.
Okay.
I'm getting Google out, so give me a
Yeah,
sec.
I don't know what these things look like.
You know, it's funny. I have actually never considered it through the lens of this newest iteration of our friend group. To be honest, I don't know. I have to give it a second.
Oh, good.
Of
I want
where
you to work
certain
a little
people,
bit.
where certain people fit in.
Okay, go for it.
I guess is this under the assumption that I'm Kermit? Is that where we're?
No, what?
Is that where we're starting? Is that the starting point?
I'm going by. It could be what we look like. It could be just our
okay.
personalities.
Okay, I think you're Kermit,
Oh,
and I'll tell you why.
why? Skinny legs.
A little bit.
Married to a pig. So I'm kidding.
You are
Oh boy.
She's coming in. She's coming. She has
No.
the frying pan.
you are the face. Okay, people are drawn to you, but behind the scenes, you are completely out of control, and you can't control your feelings all the time, and so you fly off the handle. But you always bring it back, and you have you're introspective, and you have the peace of mind that you need to have. But you know, it's not really there. I think I'm Fozzie to your Kermit.
Oh yeah. It's so good.
Terrible comedian who just really wants to be liked.
It's so good.
Yeah. I don't want to call her. I don't want to say the pig part of it, but I think Sam is very Miss Piggy. She's very well put together. She's put together. She's poised,
Yeah.
but she's tough.
Yeah, I agree.
She is tough.
Yep.
Under there, she'll give you a karate chop, no question.
Well, I get them every day.
Yeah, definitely. Danielle is Janice. That's easy.
Janice. I have to look it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, the guitarist from the band.
Oh, I know who it is. She's like, yeah, man. Is that Janice?
Yeah, that's Danielle for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Danielle is Janice, 100%.
Oh my God. Oh, you even sort
Yeah,
of
this
look like
Muppet's
Janice.
so good.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks a little like Janice. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I would say that Joe is Gonzo, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Because of the old
100%.
schnoz.
This is a schnoz.
Funny.
No, but like, you know, deep and quizzical, yet silly.
Silly to his
crazy.
core.
Yeah, crazy. And
Yeah.
Probably one of the best Muppets, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Gonzo's my fave.
Thank you, Tom.
yeah.
Thank
Matt's got to be Rolf. Matt has to be Rolf.
Oh, yeah.
Easy going. Don't care if you're interested in him. Just gonna do his thing. Yeah, there's Matt.
Oh,
for
awesome.
sure.
Thanks, Frank, for the.
Sure.
I'm putting them
As I'm
up.
trying to type, I typed Rolf, RULPH.
Roll.
I think
Yeah, Rolf.
I think Tom might be Sweetums. I think Tom is Sweetums.
Okay, I'll get him.
He's
Oh,
a big
fucking-
presence. He's loud.
Big-ass-
He bounds around.
Oh my God. Sweetums? Tom. Tom.
Yeah, thanks. Very Sicilian looking.
Somebody, listen, at home, stop what you're doing. You probably don't know Sweetums. You have to look up how insulting this one is. It's so good.
It's not insulting.
He
It's
looks
not
like
insulting.
a wreck. He looks like every other Muppet piece they had lying around. They threw on a broom.
Yeah.
This
For the
is
record,
terrible.
Sweetums is my
Damn.
favorite. Sweetums is my
John said I'm
favorite.
Sweetums from Muppets.
Tom's
Yes.
telling his wife. Oh my God.
He is Sweetums.
This is Tom when we don't sit close enough to the mics. Look, you see it? That's what Luca gives you over the computer. That's it.
Listen, if you heard
Doesn't he
Sweetums-
sound like, oh God, what are you doing there?
If you
That's
listen
him, right?
to
Or something
Sweetums talk, he sounds like the voice that Tom does all the time.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
I gotta
He
hear
does.
this.
Yeah, he's my favorite. Yeah, I mean it's easy. We're all fit into those categories. Very simple. Everybody serves their purpose.
But who are you?
Who am I?
He's Fozzie.
Oh, I'm Fozzie.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
The Fozzie, yeah.
I was, I could always draw it.
You're a mix of a few different ones, I think.
Yeah.
If you're
Pepe the King Peron.
of course, yo, Pepe is my favorite, and I would.
That's a good game. I like that game.
I just for the record, I looked up Sweetum's videos, and I do share a striking resemblance of eyebrow length and width.
Yeah, Sweetums is my favorite.
John, what's something we don't know about you?
Oh, that's a tough one. Like, I don't know, Ghostbusters and stuff. People know all that stuff. What would you say, Danielle? What do you think?
Well, because of how much you've performed, maybe people don't realize like how nervous you actually get before you go on stage.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, people do. People always say to me like, "Yeah, you don't even think anything of it at this point," which is so far from the truth. I mean,
Not
a lot of you have
true.
performed with me. I am an anxious mess.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized it, John, honestly.
Oh yeah. I'm never prepared. Ever. I am anxious from the moment I step on stage to the moment I'm done, and then the minute the show's over, I forget all of my dialogue the next day.
Like a true pro.
It's one big fever dream for John.
It is. I said I think it was you, Matt. I said during Hairspray, I love acting. I hate performing.
Absolutely.
Like I don't hate it as in I wouldn't want to do it because I do it, but right, there's no ease in it for me, ever. It's just so panic. I don't even know, and when I'm out there on stage, I think to myself, why am I doing this?
You have
I don't
out
even
of
know
body
here.
experiences on stage.
Oh yeah.
So like the
I'm out
lines
there
are coming out and you're watching yourself do it.
Oh, I remember I was doing a big monologue during How to Succeed, and it was like the 6th show out of 9 or something like that. And I remember doing that big monologue and thinking to myself, what am I going to eat for lunch tomorrow? And I know that's a tell of a great actor, I think. I'm pretty sure.
That's what Meryl Streep did in Sophie's Choice. She just
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm very much I'm always thinking of what my lines are. Like people are like, you should be there. You should be in the performance. No, I'm up there like, oh my God, what's the next line? Panicking. I don't understand how I'm a good performer on stage. People are like, oh, you're so natural up there. I'm like, am I? I'm having a meltdown. I'm not even. Oh yeah.
So why do you
no.
think you do it?
Because I like developing characters.
You just don't like performing them?
He likes the performance. He does enjoy entertaining people. That's what he's told me.
Yes, I do.
So it's all worth it for that one laugh that the audience might give him, or that he could try and get from them.
Yeah,
is worth it.
If the audience smiles because I did something, that means I made them smile, and like that's worth it. If I'm panicking.
But do you ever have like after you get like the first couple of laughs, do you ever have like where you're like you relax into it a little bit and you're like, I'm here and I'm just making stuff? Or is it always sort of the like, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? Why am I doing this?
No, it's science, okay? So like we went over it a lot, Danielle and I, when we were doing Rumors, right? And we're talking about timing and building characters, right? For me, and I've heard a lot of people say this, comedy is like music, right? A lot of people, if you could sing, you can time your comedy. It's all timing, right? Music, you need timing to be good at it, and comedy, you need timing to be good at it. Which is why I happen to do both, right? I'm not saying I'm good at both, but I do sing, and I know music, and that's kind of goes hand in hand with my doing comedy. But it's like a science. You're out there, and you say a line a certain way, and it makes the audience laugh, right? The next line I'm going to deliver, obviously keeping in mind my fellow performers, I know this audience finds this funny. So I'll do more of this and less of maybe what I was planning to do because I know that this audience will react better to this.
You've clued into their psychology early on for that particular room.
Exactly. I can clue into a room's psychology probably from the first line out. I know how to read a crowd for certain. That's one thing I'll say. Like, I know, and we've talked about it when we were doing rumors too. And we were like, how do we deliver this line? It sounds silly to say planning it out, but it's funnier if you do this, and this rather than this, and this. It's the this that they find funny, right?
Right.
So you can change that if you're quick enough and you're thinking on your feet when you're out there. What is an audience going to react to? So that I enjoy that. I enjoy playing with the science of the yeah.
And that's what makes you natural. Speaking from a seasoned actor, I couldn't do something like that.
I guess. Yeah. I guess I don't think about it while I'm doing it.
Right.
But I think that means then people who can do that have I want to say that's like emotional intelligence, because you're able to clue into what other people are thinking and feeling with very little evidence and very little with very little material that they're giving you, which is like a chuckle or a laugh or what they really laugh at, and you're immediately sizing it up and you're immediately transforming what you're doing to work on that.
Right.
That's a type of intelligence. It has to be, I think.
Makes sense.
Anybody backing me up?
No,
on that?
I agree with
Matt?
that.
Oh yeah, no. I just always going back to John being nervous, and I get nervous, stage fright, but I know what he's talking about with not really knowing lines, but then somehow just kind of knowing the lines anyway. Yeah. I think a lot of it is in your head sometimes, and I think I've always heard, the minute you stop caring about performing is when your stage fright goes away.
Right.
So never lose your stage fright.
Yeah.
Because when you're not afraid of it, you don't care about it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And
I thrive off of it. I do thrive. I'm terrified by it, and I hate it, but I thrive off of it.
I mean, I think you're always going to have those little, I don't want to say butterflies because it's so cliche, but there's definitely always that little reverberation in your gut, between your gut and your chest, at least for me. It's there. And then, once I start, it kind of goes away.
I'm very aware that I can say anything. I am very aware that I could. I'm very aware that I could turn to the audience and be like, cheesesteaks. And
but John,
there is nothing stopping me from doing that. Nothing.
From saying cheesesteaks.
Yeah, that's why I can't be, and a lot of people have this. I've heard people talk about this before. I can't be at a high place. I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of knowing that literally there is absolutely nothing stopping me from just going whoop right off the side, and that's it. There's nothing that stops me from doing that.
Not that we have to talk about it, but that sort of idea, I think, ties into your a little obsessive guilt Jewish mother that you carry with you, right? Because it's like, what am I doing up here? I could accidentally say Nazi propaganda on stage. Yeah, but you're not.
But it's not accident. It's not accident. It's not accident. To me, I almost find humor in the fact that I could be doing Shakespeare and randomly being like, "What's up, folks?" And there's nothing stopping me from doing it. Absolutely nothing. Who's gonna stop?
That's a quote.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If I'm up on the roof, there's no gate. I could just go 1, 2, dead. There's nothing that you're gonna do, and that's crazy to me.
It's like you're aware that you have this toddler in you that can't be trusted.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You're like, baby John's gonna throw himself off the roof.
I've heard somebody say, I can't go up on roofs because what if I jump? And that's 100% where I'm at. I don't want to jump, but what if I do? I might lose control of myself for 1 second. There's no taking it back.
I guess.
And so on stage, I'm very aware that I could just do anything.
And while falling, you yell cheesesteaks. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, what was he talking about?
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at the few shows that me and John shared the stage on, when we were waiting in the wings, about to make our entrance, he would always be mumbling his lines to himself, a nervous wreck.
Until the second I walk out on stage, I'm mumbling those lines.
right, and I never like, oh man, this guy is gonna mess up. This guy, I feel bad or something. He was ridiculous. He would, on a rare occasion, make the slightest mishap.
Wow. Okay, Joe. Thanks.
And he was always fine. It was me. I always screwed up on stage.
So I think we could wrap it up.
Okay.
Unless you feel like there's something about you we haven't hit.
I'm sure there is, but no, not really.
Tell us your deepest, darkest secret that Danielle doesn't know.
I don't have one.
He definitely doesn't have one. I know everything, and I've heard it probably about 50 times each. And I'm just like, it's okay, buddy. It's okay.
I couldn't
Move
keep a secret
the
if I
fuck
tried.
on.
No.
I have one last question.
Yes, Matt.
Being a collector myself,
Yes.
what do you think it is about collecting that ties into your entire psychology of wanting to please people?
I want to bring everything together in the world. Like a giant magnet.
Do you know in my show notes I wrote John as a magnet? I really did. I swear.
That's funny.
John as a magnet.
No,
You are just Katamari.
yeah, I'm just Katamari. That's what I was going to say, yeah. So you basically touched on that, yeah. So I have this show that I'm doing on Instagram TV called Collecting Dust, where I talk about my collection of stuff. And I think I've never thought about what my love of collecting is. You're going to call me crazy. And it's not because he's said so. As a kid, I started collecting things because I liked bringing them together. Okay? Like, my thing was always, I wanted a full set of whatever. I'm very specific. Okay? I never wanted...
Wait, I gotta cut you off. If you look at Matt and Joe, this is them realizing 20 years later they're just another collection of yours. it's like
That's his deepest, darkest
There's no
secret.
slipcover.
the light in their eyes dim. They're like, we're just another one of his
In
collections.
addition to
We're
movies,
just gonna we're gonna pan out, and me and Joe are just
Yes.
inside film.
inside showcases. I have an extensive collection of movies, and I also have an extensive collection of bald men. No. Yes. Right, that's the name of the episode. An extensive collection of bald men.
That's it. You just said it. That's
No,
it.
so I there was. This is not. I keep going on these stories, but there was a drug PSA from when we were kids, where all of these different IPs were in it, and they all came to life.
What's an IP?
Intellectual properties. They all came to life to help the little girl whose room they lived in not do dope. Okay? It was called Cartoon All-Stars. You could find it on YouTube. And it was basically the Ninja Turtles and Baby Kermit, Garfield, Slimer from the Ghostbusters, Alf, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. All these characters that didn't belong together coming together in the same space. They were all like Winnie the Pooh. They were all like different things in her room. One of them was an alarm clock. One of them was a picture on the wall. One of them was and they all joined together. There it is. All Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue. And they all came together for a certain goal. Granted, my takeaway from it was, man, that was cool seeing all those characters together. Had nothing to do with the drugs. The drugs, I mean, I wasn't doing drugs anyway, but that point went right over my head. Missed that. But the characters, yeah. So,
Oh, yes.
so the Cartoon All-Stars, that to me was like, oh, that's cool. I love the concept of bringing all these different characters together. So if you go to my collection room, yes, there are full sets of certain things that I like to have all of them in my hands, right? Movies is the same thing. But I love there are certain shelves that are various characters from different properties that you would never be able to bring together. And that's where I think my love of collecting started. I wanted to take my Muppets and my Ninja Turtles and my wrestlers and put them on the bus together and play with them. They were all going to the same place. that's kind of where my love for collecting started. Yeah.
All right, John.
Don't
Thanks
do
for coming
drugs.
in. Great show,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you. So that's the answer to that question. Yes.
Okay, so now the way I'd like to wrap up is for all of us to go around and we give one word about John. And then, John, you can tell us why you're a nobody at the end.
Okay,
How's that?
let's
So
do it.
I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to give my word, and I think we should end with Danielle giving her word.
Oh, God.
And then, John, you
Mine
can
is
tell us
gonna
what
be
makes
boring.
you a nobody.
Your
Why?
word is
No.
boring.
I think John is one word. When I think of John, I want to say creative, but I think that's like not doing you enough
I
justice.
thought you were gonna say creepy.
No, so I'm going to say creative, but only because I can't think of a better word. No, John's magnetic. That's John's word. Magnetic for me. Okay, Tom?
I'm torn between two. Can I just say two, and then you could pick which one you want to use? Is that fair?
I'm gonna use both.
You could just
Okay,
say
okay.
both. No one cares.
First one is Best Buy, and then the second is Alf. Yes,
Alf. There's a deeper meaning.
there is a
behind
deeper
that, Tom. You
meaning.
wanna tell
He
the Alf
knows.
story
John knows
real
where I'm
quick?
coming from with that.
But the listeners don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The
So
listeners
we're going to
don't.
keep inside jokes in this
No,
very public podcast.
I have a very old vintage Alf doll, and Tom, one of the first times he came to my house, he was obsessed with it. He wanted to steal it. He used to joke about it all the time. And then
I almost pulled a Joe. No, I'm kidding. But,
Yep. And then I found one. And I bought it for him.
but
Right?
yes, and for me, it's a deeper meaning because it became a memory. It's something that we shared because no one else I was friends with knew Alf except my brother who introduced me to the show. But it's something we got along. It's something we touched base on. Something that we connected with. And for me, I look at John. I say Alf because it's just a memory I share with a good friend. And I don't know.
Completely. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Joe?
One word. That's tough for John.
All right.
Unique.
Okay.
Okay. Matt?
Brotherly.
Brotherhood.
Darnell?
Mine's lame, but it does mean
Her word is lame. She said
no.
it.
It's husband, but obviously that means a lot more than like I could explain.
Right. Sure.
I was gonna say friend. That sounds so sad.
Friend. That's good.
Imagine if Danielle was like divorced. And she handed him an envelope and walked out and be like, oh shit, that was epic.
What's funny, Joe, is my teacher in junior high school called me. First, he called me Trent because he felt I looked like a Trent. Then, once I knew we were going to get along, he called me Johnny Unique.
Oh wow,
That's his
there you
name
go.
for me.
You don't look like a Trent.
How long did the massages last, John?
Yeah, that was better than my nickname in high school. Does anybody remember what my nickname in high school was?
Oh, I don't.
Matt, do you remember?
Are you talking about your rap name?
It was no. God, no. No, my nickname in high school was Incest Dave.
That's right.
What?
That's right.
Joe, you remember that?
No! How do I not know this? Wait, why?
What?
Okay. All right. So a quick story. My freshman year, I had met some guys who were later going to become my good friends, and they said, "What's your name?" And I said, "John." And they said, "You don't look like a John. You look like a Dave." And I said, "Okay." And then they were like, "What did you do this weekend, Dave?" And I said, "Well, my cousin was over from out of state, and I had fun with my cousin." And they said,
That's the lamest answer you could
They
have
said,
said.
"That sounds wrong." And from that point forward, they called me Incest Dave for like the whole year.
Incest Dave.
Incest Dave.
I love that so much.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Yep.
I request that we have Nothing Podcast buttons made that say Incest Dave.
Incest Dave.
It's so good. It's so good.
That should be the name of the episode. Incest Dave.
Everyone would listen. Give him the bait and switch.
Yeah.
So, John,
Yes.
I think our final moment should come down to you.
Okay.
And I think you should tell us what makes you a nobody.
My love for Chobani yogurt, if nothing else. No, what makes me a nobody is that I am a nobody. That's, I mean, for me, it's easy to answer, right? Because I formed this concept. We formed this concept around us both being nobodies. We are a nobody. Who the hell am I? I walk down the street, you don't know who I am. And I don't say it like I'm a celebrity, and I go, well, really, at my core, I'm a nobody. No, I really am a nobody. I'm nobody. I'm sitting in my house. My coworkers have no idea who I am, and like if they did, they'd think this guy's weird. They're starting to get there, but like I'm just me. I'm just me, and I don't ever want to be anything more than just me. I'd like more people to know who just me is, but that's it. Like, I've never had a problem being me.
I'm just me. Incest
Dave.
And on that note, John, I want to thank you for coming in to
you.
your own show.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Incest Dave, John Panepinto.
I get my claps.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and me, Danielle Rose Fisher, and engineered by Tom Zaccheo. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com. And be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.